Welcome to TSP Weekly. This is your tech startup podcast for Thursday, September the 10th, 2015. Today we are once again recording at the Velocity Garage in the Trogdor room. Feels like our home away from home, this place.
And Darren got the chance to do some Trogdor Runner.
Homestar Runner.
Trogdor Runner. Some Homestar Runner education.
Yes.
He educated me on who Trogdor is.
Yeah, that's right.
The imaginary character of an imaginary character.
Well, he's an early internet meme from back in the days when Flash animation was just becoming a thing. And apparently Flash is now dead, by the way. Like, it's no longer being supported, and HTML5 is going to be covering everything. And so, yeah, it's like the end of an era. The Trogdor and Homestar and Strongbad will all be relics of a no longer relevant past, I guess.
Maybe they'll convert them to HTML5 versions.
Well, maybe they're gonna have a lot of work in front of them, but I hope they do. But anyway, yeah, enough about that.
Hey, you know what's happening?
Yeah.
I can't believe it's September 10th already.
Right.
September 14th, right here. Well, not right here, but in this building.
Yep.
Hacker Nest.
Hacker Nest. It's in the Communitech part of this building.
That's correct.
But
Yeah, so that's next Monday here at 8 o'clock.
Excellent.
Come on out, local tech communities, getting connected, one tech social and several hundred beers at a time.
Yeah, free beer and decent I was going to say good conversation. Yes, it's good conversation. Let's say it's good conversation.
Your conversation is what you make it.
That's true. And if you're not good at making good conversation, it's a perfect chance to practice. And if you want practice of getting out of awkward conversations, also a great chance to practice that.
Yep.
I feel like I've honed my skills. Either I say, I got to go grab another beer, or I'm like, good to meet you, man, later.
Yeah, you're not using
that seems
the
to end the
TO?
conversation quickly.
You're not using the TO, this is your out?
No,
Ivan.
sorry. I didn't back him in the Kickstarter, so
Yeah.
I never got the device.
Your phone doesn't ring 15 times during a meetup?
Nope, sorry.
Sorry, I have to go again.
That's right. Well, listen, we got to do some introductions. So first of all, my name is Darren Conley. Did I already do that?
You're Darren?
I feel like I did.
You are Darren.
I introduced myself already earlier?
Let's do it again, just in case you didn't.
No, geez.
You're Darren Carnell.
Do you remember, James? Did I
actually
introduce myself
forget
as
to as
Stephen?
well.
You're
My
a
name's
local tech
Darren
entrepreneur.
Conley. Yeah, I got Stephen Campbell over here. I think I did that because I was like, how are you? Didn't I?
I'm feeling good. Thanks for asking.
Jeez, man.
This is James Lindsay.
We've done way too many of these podcasts. The format's getting thrown out the window today. Yeah, let's introduce our guests. How about that? Because we certainly haven't done that yet. Joining us today is James Lindsay. He is the founder of Yumr. Am I pronouncing Yumr right, James?
That is totally correct, yes.
Okay,
Nice.
Excellent. It's the lack of vowel between the M and the R that threw me off a little bit. Yes, Y-U-M-R.
It does for some, yes.
Yeah, no problem. How you doing today, James? Good?
I am really good, yes.
Excellent. You've got you have a shirt on that I think takes a lot of confidence to wear. I myself would not have the confidence.
I've been
to
told
wear.
in many of these shirts that require confidence,
Yeah,
yes.
it's
the floral.
it's a very colorful floral print. Yeah, and it's great.
I think it takes more confidence to go shirtless, but that is a
or
shirt.
just nude, but
That is, yeah, well, true.
I prefer the floral route.
Yep.
Fair enough.
I agree.
Yeah, we prefer floral to nude on the podcast, generally speaking. Anytime it's come up in the past, we've gone with floral. So, James, tell us about Yumr. I know it has something to do with food.
It very well does.
Yeah.
So the idea with Yumr, I started this way back when I had the issue of really finding where to eat. I was a big user of Yelp, other platforms as well, and I
Right.
eat out a ton at restaurants. Like, I find nothing more enjoyable than a good meal with good friends.
Yeah.
So for me, any social environment I want to be in is usually at a restaurant with friends.
Cool.
So the issue there is finding where to eat. It was difficult. I spent more time trying to find where to eat than actually eating.
Right.
I found.
Right.
So there's apps out there right now called like Food Spotting. There's Yelp, et cetera, but I found none of them really
Urban
solved.
Spoon, maybe,
Urban
yeah.
Spoon.
Yep.
Yeah. When it first came out on the iPhone,
Right.
when it first launched, the 3G was a pretty cool app where you spun that thing in it.
Yeah.
It's at a restaurant.
Where
to
are
go
we
to.
eating tonight?
Exactly. Yeah. It was kind of a novelty for the first use, but after that, it came kind of useless.
Yeah.
In my
You
opinion.
spin it 6 times till you get what you want to eat. You're like, what am I doing here?
So our goal there is actually really to solve that issue of finding where to eat. Is that the main issue there?
Right.
And create a platform for both sharing the food and also finding the food.
Now, what's generally the problem you find in trying to find a place to eat? I mean, a Google search will bring up a list of restaurants, so there certainly are places around. Is it narrowing down where you want to go, or finding a place that has the menu items you want? If you feel like chicken, like what are my chicken options?
Yeah,
like
so
what?
you're basically ordering before you go to the restaurant, kind of an idea.
Exactly. So what you said there as well is our main point is that when you search for where to eat, you find restaurants. You don't find the actual meals. So even on like platforms like Yelp, you don't really have a chance to see what they serve at the restaurant.
Gotcha.
So even if you find like a 5-star rated restaurant on Yelp, you don't know what they serve.
Right.
So the idea here is actually focus on the food first, decide what you want, what you find appetizing, and then find where to get it.
Right.
Gotcha.
That's a really neat model. I've been plowing through some Gordon Ramsay kitchen nightmares.
Yeah.
I'm a huge restaurateur. I'm a foodie as well, but I really like the operations and the whole restaurant business. And it's fascinating for me to think about the development of that. And I see myself developing as a customer too, where I'm just like that. I've decided what I'm going to eat before I even look at the menu. So, and in Kitchen Nightmares last night, he was doing one of the restaurants, and they were out of everything, right? So does that ever happen? Like you decide, I'm going to go to this restaurant to have this, and you get there, and they don't have it. Like, the whole thing crashes then, right?
Actually, I would say no. I would have a dish in mind at certain restaurants that are my favorites. But usually in the restaurant, what I find, I use the menu, and I only choose the picture items, usually.
Right.
Or even ask the waitress what the certain dish is, or what she recommends versus 2 dishes. So I'd have I have 2 in mind, and I ask the waitress, okay, what do you recommend?
Yeah.
Obviously, they say both are great because they never say one is crap. That would obviously make no sense.
Yep.
So usually for me, it's based on the images in the restaurant as well. So
it's funny you mentioned that. 2 points I want to make. First of all, I remember so often, not as much now because I have 2 kids and we don't go out to eat as much, but when my wife and I were like dating, anytime we would walk into a restaurant, it was usually something she saw somebody else eating on the way to our table.
Exactly.
She's like, I want that.
Right.
I do that.
That is.
I do that so often. I'm not sure if it's a rude gesture to make. Like, hey, what is that on your table right there?
Yeah.
It's kind
that's
of
the one I
intrusive,
want.
but yeah, honestly, it's a really good way to find where to eat.
Well, I think that's, it's funny that there's such a strong power of suggestion in what you see, even on the way to your table at a restaurant. But second, the experience of eating is so much more about the taste and the smell more than the look of the thing. And yet, the sight of the food has such a huge bearing on your decision-making process, right?
We're visual people. That's the thing. People are visual. And also the idea there is the taste is a really important thing as well. Hence why we're having reviews and comments on the actual dish as opposed to restaurants.
Right. That makes sense. I was going to ask too. So let's say if I'm using Yumr and I'm thinking to myself, I feel like chicken pad thai tonight.
And who doesn't?
Do I open up Yumr and type in chicken pad thai, or like how do I make use of the system?
Yeah.
Bring us through a use
There's
case.
a few routes. So the key thing on our platform is we use a lot for our back end was our tag system. So users who submit photos use our pre-made hashtags, we call them.
Okay.
And from there, people actually can search up food by using tags. So in this scenario, you can use the tag Thai and the tag dinner to find Thai dinners.
Right.
And then from there, you can keyword search chicken, for example. Or just fold out keyword search pad Thai chicken.
Right.
So you can do several routes, but I find the tag routes even more, I would say, because usually you want to find a certain dish, but you're open-minded in a certain sense. So searching up a Thai lunch, you can find several Thai dishes in your area.
Right.
As opposed to that exact dish.
Can I search by kind of price range? Like I know I want to pay something between $10 and $16 for lunch. I don't want to pay $25 necessarily.
And importantly as well, we're doing kind of the tag system in terms of cheap. That's kind of like a negative word sometimes, but the idea there is kind of find what is a nice economic way to eat out.
Sure.
Because there's 2 versions of eating out. There's obviously the fancier gourmet version, and then also kind of like the more lower price version. So we have that as well in the application.
Okay.
Not so much a gradient. We'll maybe do that in the future, but right now we have either it's called cheap eats, or we have just gourmet.
Gotcha.
So for lunch, I want to find cheap eats, which is usually we define as below $10 on the application, and then for dinner, like a certain range would be 15 and less.
Right. Gotcha.
I like that. I like the high or the low. I'm not a big middle eater.
Right.
Too many choices gets confusing, I think. But we'll see in the future what users want what they demand. But we feel like the cheap eats hashtag is also a big thing on Instagram too. So a lot of these tags we choose are based off what's popular on Instagram and whatnot. We kind of change them over time.
Can we talk about Instagram a little bit? You've got a really cool UI. It's very very visual based. And we got to talk Caveman too. How did he come to life? Is that you before 6 a.m. or?
What is the caveman?
Yeah.
Maybe we should tell her.
It's my alter ego. No, I'm just joking. So the idea came about, honestly, was our internal marketing phrase I used a lot we kind of bucketed users in certain characteristics. So I eventually came across two main users of our application. One was a person we called a big foodie photographer, and we called her Judy Foodie. Right. It's kind of a character we made out of that. And also we have someone who's really hungry. And they want to find food in a pinch. They're really impulsive. They want to find it quickly. So they're as hungry as a caveman.
Gotcha.
Right.
So we call it caveman hungry.
Right.
So we have two ends of the spectrum. We have one person who's super hungry and very impulsive. The other who's more so down to go for a restaurant, take a photo of the food.
Yeah.
Right.
So the caveman one, I was thinking it came about. I think my team member suggested that was, why don't you dress up as a caveman and run around downtown naked? And I was like, semi-naked.
Cavemen don't have.
Yes,
well, maybe
as
a fur.
a caveman would dress.
Yeah.
Sure.
Dressed as a caveman. So I was like, I think that's an awesome idea. So eventually, I actually got a full-out caveman costume. Not naked. I wore some short shorts though.
Oh, fair enough.
So it's almost the same thing, to be honest.
Yeah.
I was running around downtown Kitchener. We filmed a little promo video there. We've yet to launch that video because we're not sure if the world's ready for it yet.
What were you doing in the video? Like clubbing people?
Yeah. Did you have a club or a big bone?
Dragging them into restaurants
I was pretty much running around trying to find where to eat.
Oh, gotcha.
And running into restaurants. Some of them kicked us out of the restaurant. They said, you can't come in here wearing that. Right. I'm not sure who they thought I was. Maybe a crazy man. But
did you have a shirt and shoes? I mean, typically that's all that's required.
No hat, no shirt, no service.
It never says no pants, though.
I was wearing a caveman toga, so maybe it's no toga is their policy.
Yeah, could be.
No leopard togas.
Right. Fair enough. And did you find like any correlation between restaurants you got kicked out of and quality of food being offered? Or?
I think it depends on their open-mindedness and also their experiences probably in the past with crazy people in the restaurant.
Right.
I'm not sure.
This is downtown Kitchener.
A 6'7" guy in a giant beard and leopard print toga.
Yes.
Exactly what you want in a restaurant.
Yeah. Fred Flintstone is here.
It could be intimidating to anybody, really, I guess.
And confusing, probably. Yeah. I think some were confused, but a lot of people loved it on the streets, though.
Yeah.
A lot of selfies were taken with me, so
I bet.
It was pretty interesting.
That's awesome.
That's
so you took that concept then, and you've sort of put it into the app. Is there a visual artist on the team, or is that yourself that sort of took that concept and then made a picture of the caveman and has now implemented that into your marketing?
Yeah, luckily we have a part-time designer and also have a lot of good friends who are designers. Actually, a friend of mine who's not even part of the team actually helped me mock up this into a vector graphic.
Oh, cool.
So I had the idea of the caveman. I kind of sent her over a idea of what I want it to look like, a rough sketch. And she sent back up to me the actual raw file, and I was like, I love this. Spot on. It was exactly what I wanted. So the idea to have a designer that really kind of translates your idea perfectly is awesome.
Right.
So did you take her out to lunch?
I have yet to do that, actually.
Nudge.
I will, though.
Wink,
I
wink.
will, in my caveman costume.
There you go.
So I have a use case for you. Maybe you can help me walk through how I might be able to do this. So I'm a big fan of, like that really... it's Chinese food, but probably Chinese people would not call it Chinese food, but like breaded meats in like a sauce of some sort, right? Usually
I'm already
it's like
hungry.
The bright red, sweet and sour pork or some orange thing or some yellow thing, and any sort of breaded meats in a sweet sauce. I'm a big fan of that.
Yep.
So let's say I one day I'm in a different part of town. I don't really know what restaurants are around, but I'm like, I could really go for some breaded meat and sweet sauce of some sort. Like, how would I track that down?
Actually, it's easier than most apps on us because we use the tags again. So we have tags. We have sweet, we have salty, we have carbs, and protein.
Okay.
So in this case, also cheat meal. So in this case, it'd be obviously a cheat meal, as some of it call it. It's a cheat meal is kind of a meal that you would eat on a cheat day, which is also, again, a fitness term used when you're out of your dietary, normal
recommendations.
range.
Yeah,
Yes,
sure.
exactly.
Yep.
So for some, it's daily. For some, it's once a week.
Okay.
But this would be called cheat meal.
Okay.
Sweet, protein, and carbs.
Okay.
And then you would find everything in your area that has those tags involved.
Interesting. And are my results, the search results, are they giving me dishes or are they giving me restaurants?
Dishes.
Okay.
Only dishes as well.
Okay.
So a restaurant could serve a carb B protein dish, like a breaded chicken ball with sweet and sour sauce, but they can also serve a healthy option.
Right.
So in this case, you're going to find the exact what you want at that restaurant.
Okay. Now, my next question is a little technical. How do you guys keep all of that info up to date? Are you like, do the restaurants submit the stuff to you, or are you going out with your crack team to update, every time there's a menu revision?
Yeah, who's driving the food truck? Are you? Or
I would say it's me personally eating out a lot.
All on the company dime for research purposes, right? Yeah.
It involves a lot of eating. Sure. Actually, users themselves. So we found a few things. Our initial idea was restaurant focused. Mm-hmm. So we approached restaurants saying, hey guys, we have a free option for you guys to send us food photos. And they pretty much said, we're busy. Even though it's free, it's too much work. We have no photos. Thank you so much.
Thanks very much. Have a nice day.
So I was like, oh, damn.
Please go away. We open in 3 hours.
Yeah. So the idea there is kind of like, who would want to upload photos of food, right? So Instagram's a huge foodie platform. And then we want to make the platform, like, again, good for both sides. Right. Even better for those who want to submit photos of food. So that idea, there's actually a lot of user-created content. All the photos in the application are all user-submitted photos. Mm-hmm. Wow. Whether it's from me, a lot of them from me right now because I eat out a ton, but a lot actually from other users as well. We have a ton uploading photos. We have actually a leaderboard. Yeah. So we actually have points people earn per upload, or even interactions in general. So once you eat a food, once you like a food, bookmark it, whatever, and also upload food, you earn points. Cool. So actually, we can see who's the biggest foodie on our platform. Cool. Right. So it's kind of a race or a competition to see who's the biggest foodie. So right now we have about top 5 players. I'm probably third.
Oh, okay.
Believe it or not,
you can do it.
Believe it or not, I'm third.
It's an interesting idea to gamify the whole taking pictures of your food phenomenon. That's what's going on, right?
There is method to the madness there because it's not just to gamify it, just to make it more addicting. It's to gamify it to make it more rewarding for users as well. So that sounds generic, but the idea there is that higher the points they have, the bigger the foodie they are, right? Which means they're a higher quality customer for restaurants. Which means if we do issue rewards for users, the ones who have the highest ranking should receive higher rewards,
right?
Because you want to entice the higher quality customers to come into your restaurant, try your new foods, and take photos.
Yeah, and those are the people who are more likely to influence other users to buy those dishes, right?
So it's a way to recognize the influencers on the application and the high quality customers for restaurants.
Not uncommonly, I'm confused. So I get it, but I don't understand how there's an advantage to Yumr to have me take a picture of some food and upload it, and then Darren not be able to get that food. Like, is that happening?
Why would I not be able to get it?
Well, I'm seeing recipes and people and different stuff happening, right? So if I'm a foodie and I say this was an awesome meal I had somewhere, then I guess people in that location could get it, but...
Well, anybody searching for that kind of food, I think, would find it, right?
So you mean...
Is it not people in their kitchens saying, look at this cool thing I made?
No. So it's only restaurant foods.
So it's only restaurant
foods?
Yes. Yeah. Okay, so it has to be a picture of a restaurant.
I did not clarify that.
No,
yes, only
it
restaurant
almost seems
foods.
like when I go to the website, it's not all restaurant food because there's stuff on cutting boards and pictures of different food.
Our social media...
Not at a table, right?
Our social media is mainly focused on all foods, like everything delicious is our philosophy. And our application is more so that philosophy applied to restaurant foods.
Okay.
So we could offer the option to post foods from home and recipes and all that jazz, but it does kind of convolute the application. It kind of makes it more messy and whatnot. Right. So we could eventually offer an application separately, other than people don't really enjoy having more than one app of the same company. Right. An app just for recipes.
Right. So when I go on to Yumr, then every picture I see is a dish that I can get in a restaurant.
Exactly. Yeah. On the application, every dish is from restaurants, and also, like you said earlier, in your city, you can also sort by proximity. Okay. And there's also an Easter egg we added in a while back was global search. So instead of just in your 8-kilometer radius, is our maximum radius we have, you can also select global, which means in the whole entire world. Okay. Wow. So you can see the latest foods updated from around the world. So you can see
I don't know
food.
if there's any fondue within 8 kilometers of me, but probably
worldwide.
worldwide.
So you can see, like right now on the app, there'd be a dish from Indonesia, for example. We have a few actually quite a few people from Asia right now in the application. So it's kind of cool to see that kind of global foods, and
that'd be awesome.
Yeah.
Now, the other thing that I want to do is, and I've mentioned this, I think, on a previous podcast, maybe even, sometimes I find myself in downtown Kitchener or around town somewhere. Around lunchtime, I'm like, I got to grab something, relatively fast. I know there's maybe a McDonald's or a, Harvey's or Burger King somewhere nearby, but I don't want just the same old. But I'd like to go somewhere that has like a good daily deal that I can sample. Someplace that's like it's a Tuesday, you know, somebody has some special on for Tuesday, half price wings somewhere. Like, how could if I want to find that stuff, usually I got to go into the restaurant, wait till I get seated, look if there's a thing on the table that tells me that information. But I'd like to find that before I even decide on which restaurant to go.
It's extremely hard, yes.
Yeah.
So with us, the idea is actually with restaurants that do kind of on board with us.
Yeah.
Not in a full-fledged send us photos way, but so much give us information on your promotions. Even if we find it ourselves, we have also the tag, again, back to the hashtags, is promotions hashtag,
Okay.
which means click the hashtag to see what are the current promotions.
Gotcha.
And also, based on your profile, what you like as well, we actually push users deals on the food they've already liked.
Okay.
So if I like a certain dish or I bookmark a dish, like I bookmark the chicken wings at Morty's, the hot and spicy chicken wings, and all of a sudden it's wing night, the app tells me that.
Oh, okay.
Okay,
Cool. For Morty's specifically, or for any other place?
For the exact dish I want, but also
I
kind of have the option to be involved in any kind of promotion towards dishes that might interest you.
Because it'd be cool if I was like, tell me anytime a restaurant has like half price wing night, let me know, because I want to be on top
honestly,
of
it is hard to find out that. I was
Yeah.
trying to find as well, like wing nights in the city, and trying to search on Google. It took me like hours to find out what wing nights are in Waterloo area or
It's
Kitchener.
crazy, or like half price appetizers after whatever time. Like,
And many restaurants
that
have
would be
it.
incentive, right?
Yeah.
For me to go in with some buddies, you know, after 9 p.m. or whatever it is, grab a beer and have some, you know, I don't know, potato skins or something.
Yep, with some fried meats.
And
Yeah,
that's
some
our
fried
exact
meats.
idea as well,
Yeah.
is also to benefit restaurants. So you
Sure.
actually can push promotions outside of your regular promotion range. So you
Right.
can actually set promotions on the application from restaurants for a set time and duration.
Interesting.
So you can have a deal pushed on a burger at 3 p.m. until 5 during their slow time, for example.
Cool. Okay, that's awesome. Now, before we go any further, we are going to take a quick break here and throw in our commercial spot for Igloo software. Igloo, who I don't know if you got this, Stephen, but I just got the invitation for their grand opening of their new office.
Oh,
Did
awesome.
Did
No,
you get an email
I
with
haven't
that?
looked,
I'm sure it
recently.
was intended for both of us.
Sure.
I'll forward it to you.
Thank you.
But
Maybe
anyway,
they'll have some fried meats and sweet sauces.
I hope so. I can never
Hint,
turn
hint.
that down. Anyway, so take a listen to this, guys. And if you're looking for an intranet to use at your company, or if you're looking to get hired by a company that builds intranet software, Igloo might be the thing for you.
When you use our product, you should be able to use it right away.
Igloo is kind of like a big box of Lego. If you know how to use it, you can turn it into anything you want.
You don't have to have a giant crew to work with Igloo. You can just turn it on and it just works.
The good thing about Igloo is that it's not forcing you to learn how to use the platform. The platform learns how to be used by you.
I mean, my life could be drowning in paperwork, but instead I have one platform to keep my life organized.
Igloo, an intranet you'll actually like.
I think it is the thing for you. Igloo's cool. And
Yes.
we have to get back there to do some more interviews. So maybe, I
We
don't
do.
know if the grand opening is the time to do that, but we'll chat.
We'll barge in sometime, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So we are still here with Mr. James Lindsay of Yumr. And now I had something on the tip of my brain before we paused for our commercial spot, and I'm trying to remember what it was now.
You've completely lost it.
The thing with the food industry is it's such a huge, I mean, there's so many things you can do with food, right? We already talked about the possibility of home recipes and different things like this.
Yep. And at the Startup Guelph weekend, there were like 3 or 4 entrepreneurial ideas.
Yeah.
Big pain points around food, obviously.
Yeah, I mean, and it's something we interact with every day, and obviously the restaurant industry is gigantic too. Oh, I remember
Yeah,
monetization. That's what I wanted
what's
to
the
ask
road
you
to
about.
monetization? How are you
Yeah.
going to make money?
So
with
actually, it's actually a bridge from what we were saying before about promotions. So the key thing for restaurants is the ability to actually push promotions when customers are in need of food,
Right.
or when they actually on the application. So in this case, restaurants can see who's bookmarked their food, so who likes it but hasn't eaten it yet,
Right.
and they can push some deals based on, okay, try this food out with a discount and see how you like it.
Gotcha.
So you're looking at big data then?
Yeah, big data in the end, but in the first couple of years, the data volume won't be that big.
Right.
So in the current phase, it'll be just real time data based on who likes your food at certain restaurants.
Okay.
So are restaurants paying a subscription fee to kind of come on as sponsors or users, the ability to push promotions?
Yeah, we're actually looking at doing a micro transaction to push promotions. So
I
in a
see.
sense, to better measure their ROI, kind of like how Facebook does their advertisements. So set their budget, and we can set their kind of the range of users we can touch with that budget.
Okay.
So if I got $10 a week, or if I got $100 a week, we can say, okay, we'll reach out to 3, or we'll reach out to 50.
Exactly.
Okay.
Interesting.
Yeah, that's neat. So
And-
it's scalable for and you can dip in and out of it as you want to. Maybe do your research sort of 4 times a year.
That's a thing, yes. And also the key thing we're looking at doing is revenue, but not take away from user experience, but also at the same time benefit user experience, because pushing promotions based on food I already liked is a good thing. I want that as a user.
Sure.
So getting promotions on food I don't like, I don't want to see.
Right.
Like I don't want to see a promotion on a dish. Like I don't like fish,
Yeah.
so like fish dish for me, I don't want to see it. For example, so like a deal on that, I would like. Why am I using this application? It's intrusive. It's in my face. So why don't you have promotions on food you already like, or you want to eat?
Yeah.
Did you say you liked sushi earlier?
I like sushi, but
once again,
for
I'm
some
confused.
reason, it's cooked fish.
Oh, you don't like the cooked fish?
I don't like cooked fish.
That's interesting.
It's the taste.
I'm not a fan of any form of fish, cooked or otherwise. And I've been to Japan and tried real sushi, and I didn't hate it. I was just like, meh.
Really?
Like
I'm surprised.
It's not worth the money for
I thought I was very few,
right?
but there's some people out there who don't like seafood.
Yeah, interesting.
Yeah.
I like shrimp though.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Even shrimp, I'm like, meh. It feels too much like I'm eating the actual animal, right? A cow doesn't look like a cow when I'm eating beef, but shrimp looks like a shrimp.
That's an interesting concept.
Yeah.
Never thought of it that way.
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah.
So listen, James, let's take things back and go back to when this whole thing started.
Sure.
Tell us a little bit about the story of where the inspiration for Yumr. You mentioned you eat a lot of food, but
that's true,
and you like eating out. But there's a difference between eating out a lot and decide I'm going to build an application.
Exactly.
Right?
Yes.
So you had the pain. You couldn't find where to eat.
Yeah.
But then how did you decide I'm going to do it? Fix it?
So the idea first started back in Velocity Residence.
Okay.
So I actually applied in there as a fluke, just kind of for fun, and actually got into it. And I was like, oh, cool, because I had an idea for a few applications. I had a list of ideas on my BlackBerry, on my notepad.
Yeah.
But one big one I was trying to do was a fashion app, actually.
Interesting.
A way to kind of see fashion around the world and share what you're wearing and be an ambassador for certain brands.
It sounds like somebody might be doing that.
Somebody that's sitting just right behind you. Actually.
So I never knew that company. It probably does that quite well. So I didn't know that ahead of time. But in the residence, I found a good developer to join my team, and we're sitting around a table for a bit talking. And I had a conference the next day to compete with a few ideas. I can pitch as many ideas I want to on this website. I can put 20 ideas if I wanted to. So I had options to do more ideas. So I was like, I'm not very, very happy with the current ideas. I want one more good one. So sitting around the table thinking about stuff. Mm-hmm. And then it came about, actually after a dinner, I was talking about, why isn't there a Tinder for recipes?
Right.
Like, I want an easy way to find like what I can cook, because I want to, visually, I'm a visual person, so I want to see what it looks like first.
Yeah.
And then my one friend told me, like, why would you want to see, like, it's a small market. Yeah. Recipes are pretty small.
Yeah.
Not big. I'm like,
arguably, I don't know.
Yeah, it is pretty big market, but I was kind of like, I think you're right. Like, I only cook once a week, maybe. Like, I think you're right there. Like, what about if we have restaurant foods instead? And I was thinking to myself, I was like, that's a pretty cool idea, right? I was thinking my own thought. I was like, that's a cool idea. And then they're like, yeah, it's actually a cool idea as well. Mm-hmm. And then I was thinking, like, what about Tinder for food?
Right.
Like, what's as good as seeing someone of interest, but also food.
Yeah. Yeah. Sure.
It is really delicious interesting. Food. Eating with your eyes.
Yeah.
That was the idea.
And and it sounds like Yumr has evolved into something that's not quite Tinder for food.
Yeah.
Since then, right?
We honestly were the Tinder of food. We actually made the application version 1 as a Tinder.
Just swiping left
swipe
and right?
around. We actually had 3 options instead of binary.
Right.
So we had yes, no, and maybe.
Okay.
So we're a bit different from Tinder, but it was Tinder in the end, right?
Yeah,
yes, no, and doggy bag.
The maybe was the maybe was like meant to be like I'll eat it tomorrow maybe, or like it's breakfast but it's dinner. I don't feel like eggs right now, for example, or steak for breakfast. I'm not having a steak for breakfast, but it looks good for dinner.
Sure. Oh wow, I need to have steak for breakfast again.
But we found out, steak and eggs is actually a pretty good dish.
Yeah.
But we found out that it wasn't that beneficial over time. It was the reward for the application it died off.
Right.
It wasn't that addicting, wasn't that rewarding for the user. So you kind of sat down at a table for a long time. For about a whole week, I spent kind of iterating on ideas, whiteboarding out some user flows, and figuring out what is a good UI that can be rewarding for both ends of the users.
Right.
And this is our current application now.
Yeah, I think you've hit a pretty good sweet spot, because as I scroll through it, I thought, oh, that looks pretty good. Why is that bun black? A lot of black stuff. A lot of black. Is black the new thing in the food industry?
Black is the new
black
black
buns and black chicken and black.
Black bun burgers are apparently the newest trend. I don't understand it, but it's a trend now.
Weird. Now, how long ago did that process start when you were in the Velocity residence?
That was about 6 months ago from today. And that was about 2 months into the Velocity residence.
Really?
Yes.
I thought it would be longer ago.
Yeah, that's very quick.
You've done a lot in a short period of time.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
And so that's yourself and one other founder, like the developer you were working with, or how many people do you got working on things?
Right now, it's 2 of us full time. Me, my co-founder, Jeff Camp from University of Guelph.
What's up, Jeff?
Jeff. I think you see you're wearing a Guelph T-shirt right now.
Oh yeah, I'm in this habit of wearing T-shirts that are given to me for free these days.
Oh, you're not from Guelph.
This is
Okay.
when the Guelph started. I'm from Hamilton, so
Okay.
I'm from Guelph,
Sorry.
and I had that shirt in my hand about 3 hours ago, and I'm so glad I did not wear it.
Yeah,
It's stained with coffee, unfortunately.
And I'm wishing I had worn something with a floral print now that James looks
Bring it
so
back.
Is that
good.
shirt on the Pout app? We're gonna have
Maybe
to talk
it could
to
be.
Taylor.
Look at the floral. Yeah, I could actually do my own floral account on there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think
You
so.
can follow
man.
me for the best floral shirts.
Yeah, absolutely.
Bringing it back, or bringing it into.
Tom Selleck has nothing on you.
How did we get off on this tangent here, guys? So
It's the floral. It distracts everyone. I know.
It is. So there's the two of you working together. You haven't hired any co-op students yet, or anything?
We had 2 co-ops
Okay.
in the summer term.
Okay,
Yep.
cool. And what did you have those guys doing?
Different parts of the application for development. A lot of their time was spent learning, and some of it was spent working on the application.
Sure.
So the one guy was working on the point system, and
Yep.
the other co-op was working on the photo submission screens to
Okay.
optimize the user experience for that.
And what's your area of expertise? Or you're obviously in school, or you were, or still are?
I still am. Actually,
Okay.
I'm in school this term doing a course load. So I'm doing this working this full time in school part time. But
Okay.
it's still a full course load.
Okay.
I actually study IT management, which is a specialization of math and business administration.
Okay.
Interesting.
So that's the long title of a degree, but
Yeah.
it's mostly around the notion in philosophy that we view technology as a solution. And I was in computer science, and in computer science we viewed technology as a problem.
Right.
So we built technology as opposed to, and now in IT management, I kind of see it as a solution.
Right.
So a lot of my focus is on more management and more product.
Okay.
So it's like the product roadmap, the design, and all that.
Sounds like a
jazz.
good fit for a startup.
Yeah, it sounds like a really entrepreneurial mindset.
Honestly, it's like the degree. It fits so well with me. Honestly, I love it.
Wow, that's
Best
awesome.
choice. Yeah.
So did you do any of the coding and stuff yourself of it, or you've handed that off to other people?
I've handed it off. Yes.
Okay.
Sweet.
Fair enough.
And what kind of traction are you experiencing so far? You have a bunch of users. Saw you have about 5,000 followers on
Twitter.
Yeah.
We have about 3,000 something on Instagram, and good traction as well on Instagram. We're doing a campaign called #YesYumr, and that is people who upload photos with the #YesYumr in their photo. We view it, and if we deem it delicious, we repost it and
Right.
feature them on our account.
Certified delicious.
So there's about 4,500 of those posts.
Wow.
People requesting us to feature them, which is a good form of traction.
Yeah.
In my opinion.
I saw the waffle ice cream sandwich from the CNE.
Oh.
Yeah, that was
there
on
you
there,
go.
yeah.
That looked interesting.
I have a friend who goes to the CNE only for those Tiny Tim's donuts. You know, the little donuts they make at the
Tim's
CNE.
does a special CNE donut?
No, it's not Tim Hortons.
Oh, it's just a donut.
It's a separate. It's
Oh,
like a
they actually-
they're like, I don't know, the size of a
smaller
loony or
than a
something.
I heard they had a Tim Hortons poutine.
Really?
Timbit poutine, actually.
Timbit poutine.
So I
That's
thought,
taking it too far.
That's taking it too far.
This podcast is over.
I'm going to eat that right now. But yeah, I heard they had
Crazy.
that this year. And I haven't had a chance to
Interesting.
try it though when it was there. But
Yeah, didn't
That
they
does
have?
sound good.
I have
Sounds like a
some
genius
vague
idea.
memory of like last summer at the. Sorry, when we say CNE for our non-Canadian
Oh, yes.
listeners, that's the Canadian National Exhibition. It's a big deal in Toronto in the summer.
And it's sort of a fair and rides
It's like
and
rides
food and carnival
shows
and
Lots of food.
displays,
cats
yeah.
and dogs living
But-
together.
Mass hysteria.
No, it's pandemonium, actually.
But wasn't there something last year at the CNE about some like crazy bacon and something dish that like all these people got food
oh, the
poisoning from?
cronut burger.
Yeah, it was a
Yes.
burger. Yes, sorry, it was like
The
a
cronut burger.
a burger made with donuts, right?
And they deep fried the whole thing, I think, at once.
yeah.
Yeah.
And hence why the meat wasn't fully cooked or something. I forget.
Oh,
Crazy. This
interesting.
is you just got me thinking with the Timbit poutine. Like sometimes
Honestly, I
dabbling is not a good idea.
Yeah, I actually probably would have still ate the burger, to be honest. If I knew people got sick, I'm like, I have to try this
Yeah.
thing. It looks too good. I'll take the risk.
Yeek.
So how did you
Yeah.
get up to such traction? You think it's just because the users are able to participate? And
Yeah.
that's how it grew so
What
quickly?
was your secret marketing strategy?
Yeah.
Ooh,
6
I'm
months
not giving
to-
that away. Our secret sauce.
Because
I
we
think-
need to copy it for TSP Weekly. Damn it.
I
Yeah.
think the being genuine and focusing on the community is really important. So with us, the genuine approach was I love pictures of food,
Yep.
and I shared a lot of food from the start. A lot of the start I was doing was based on reposting other photos of good food.
Right.
Mostly food porn, as some call it.
Sure.
Like really like delicious, like unique looking food.
Like slowly unpeeling a banana frame by frame. No, I'm just kidding.
Wow, that got
that is
really
literally that's literally food porn.
really
yeah.
quickly.
Yee. Sorry.
Quite the
Sorry, guys.
0 to 100 really quick.
Wow.
Hey, I could have brought up worse things.
And then
We
and
didn't
then
do-
from there we
Yeah.
issued the idea of featuring other users in their posts. So right now, honestly, 98% of our contents is user submitted photos to us
Oh, that's
Wow.
huge.
on our Instagram and Twitter.
Yeah.
I think it's so great if you can get the users to do the work for you, so to speak.
Yeah,
I
you
mean,
push the ball
if-
down the hill and the
if you-
snowball's building. eh?
It's like you need content for your app. Either you can go out and do all the content yourself, or you can rally the users behind and get them.
On
to do
the
it.
app, it's a bit different story, but Instagram
Okay.
as well. The featuring, yeah. So the featuring there is that there is a lot of unique food around the world that I would never have a chance to find if it wasn't for our users or our fan base.
Right.
So it's really neat to find users around the world who follow us and send us photos from Malaysia, all over the world pretty much, and
Sure.
UK and Germany and stuff. So it's really cool to see the foods around the world.
Can you share some like odd foods that you might have got submitted?
Odd foods.
Like people eating, cockroach or anything?
I think I'm
or-
desensitized at this point for odd foods because
Really?
I've seen so many unique foods on nowadays.
Okay.
So
Give us some examples. I'm just wondering, for a man who's entrenched in the world of food, what you might have seen. that we
I
might
think
not
one of the
have.
most odd ones, which we actually had our one of our employees post,
Uh-huh.
was a live octopus.
Really?
And there's a video of it too. So on our Instagram, deep down in the past, we had this video of a live octopus on a plate.
Really?
It's kind of cut up and it's just still squirming around. So that for me was the weirdest.
That's fresh.
That's fresh right there.
So I don't want to eat something that's going to be slithering down my
So it's a
throat.
tough choice saying, I don't know if we should have this on there because it's a bit too much.
Yeah.
It's like borderline too much, but it was
Yeah.
very
That's,
cool, interesting to see.
NSFW food porn.
Not safe for work food.
That's right.
Yes,
Yeah,
I was
that's
at the
crazy.
Zayres, the local Zayres, which is a grocery store here locally, with my son. He's 14, and there was an octopus in the fish
in the tank?
counter. Yeah, no, not in the tank. He was
Oh,
dead.
just on the
but it was
okay.
a full octopus. So the fishmonger picked it up and let us look at it. We didn't buy it, but it was
Wow.
huge. It was pretty big.
It reminds me
Yeah.
of Detroit hockey games when they throw octopus on the ice.
Right.
Yeah, that's
It's,
right.
I never understood that actually. I never know why they did that, but
I think
Octopus
I
or-
think that sports fans get bored. They're like, let's find something to
it's
throw.
extremely
Oh, there's-
unique to throw.
I'm sure there's hockey
Yeah.
lore
and
that
then eat
we're
it after,
stomping
maybe
on.
Yeah.
sashimi after with that
Yeah, that's
hockey
right.
ice.
Throw some
octopus.
sushi on it. Yeah, fair enough. Interesting. Okay, so you how long did it take for you guys to get the prototype out, kind of into the market?
You're in your third MVP now?
Yeah, actually, we're in our third version right now.
Okay.
So we spent a lot of time internally kind of coming back to the application, revamping it, and doing iteration on the design.
Yeah.
So the version 1 took us about 2 months, month and a half to make. And
Okay.
it was all done. It was ready to go. We were ready to launch it.
Yeah.
But I said no to launching it because I wasn't totally confident in the application. It was good, but it wasn't amazing.
Right.
So
Right.
Tinder for Food was neat. It was a cool project, but in my eyes, it wasn't really it wasn't worthy enough to launch publicly
Yep.
and say, "Hey guys, try this app out in the world and use this app."
Right.
So I spent a lot of time internally, kind of building this application, iterating on it, and I spent another 4 months doing two other versions. So
Wow.
version 2 kind of we made in about the fourth month, and then finally the version 3, which you see now in front of you, was public. So all those 3 versions, except the last one, were private.
Oh, I see.
So you didn't get any feedback from your customer base? Those were all pivots based on your own sort of feeling of how your development was going?
Honestly, yeah, a lot of it was internal, but some of it was from external feedback.
Right.
Believe it or not,
Mentors and other
yeah,
teams
mentors, people, even strangers, I would approach and whatnot,
Right.
and friends. But I found honestly the funniest thing ever, the most honest feedback we received was this intoxicated neuroscience grad students in a pub in Toronto.
Really?
He gave it to you straight?
Yeah, she gave it to me straight, and I was like, you're smart. I like it. I like it a lot.
Yeah.
The best
It
feedback
hurts,
I ever
but
got.
keep it coming.
Yeah, honestly, you want to seek the negative feedback and the honest feedback, right?
Yeah.
And that was what I got. That was amazing.
It almost makes me think there's got to be like a YouTube channel out there that's like smart drunk people or something like that, right?
yeah, 'cause
just
they-
talking about life and getting the straight goods.
Because they have no filter, right? And they just
Right.
let that all
yeah.
go.
But the intelligence is still there.
yeah,
Right,
that's the
yeah.
thing.
Yeah.
That's the craziest part. So.
Yeah.
That, Yeah,
if you want
that's
good
crazy.
feedback from your application, go to someone in a pub and approach them.
Yeah, right? A pub close to a university that has like, smart students. Yeah,
Exactly.
Sure.
Yeah.
There's probably a small window there.
Oh yeah. Make sure they're smart.
Yes, that's right.
But,
You never know. They could. The idea is actually make it. She said as well, make it so easy a drunk person could use it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean,
that's
We've
the
heard
key
that
thing.
advice ourselves.
Yes,
So
and
yeah.
the wise words of Wes Warsfield.
Yes.
Approach
Very
anyone.
cool.
Yeah.
Build
Yeah.
it like they're drunk.
Very cool. And then how long has this latest version been available to the public then?
A little over 3 weeks.
Really?
Yeah. So
Wow.
my goal was a little tiny milestone was end of August, 100 users.
Okay.
Unique users.
Yeah.
So we met that goal.
Oh, awesome.
So I was happy in that.
Yeah.
Clapped hands and cheered a little bit.
And is it largely kind of, you've talked about having stuff from around the world, but is most of it concentrated in the Kitchener-Waterloo area?
Honestly, surprisingly
just
not,
everywhere?
actually.
Really?
We had a bunch sign up from India and Malaysia, Hong Kong, and Indonesia.
Okay.
And
Yeah.
also, a few from UK.
Road
and then-
trip.
Yeah, honestly. I just got back from Hong Kong and Indonesia from a conference.
Oh, cool.
Startup conference there. So the food scene there is huge.
Yeah.
bet.
Did
And
you
there-
try anything unique in Hong Kong? I asked because
You're
I've
really
been
looking
there
for something to eat, aren't you?
I've been there myself, so I'm just wondering.
Hong Kong foods. Trying to think back. Not really, actually. I found the food in Indonesia my favorite by far.
Really?
The food there is amazing. Literally, if I had to choose one cuisine to keep with for life, it'd be
Yeah.
Indonesian.
Give us a dish or two that
It was
grabbed you.
rendang is like a beef curry dish. It
Okay.
was literally like the best thing ever with rice, like in that beef dish.
Yeah.
Also, one good thing to note is KFC in Asia was
Yeah.
honestly amazing.
Really?
Kentucky Fried chicken was literally
I thought it was
awesome.
kittens.
How is it that much different than over here?
It's for some reason it tastes different, and they have rice with chicken and also chili sauce.
Okay, I know KFC is actually.
And it was
it's-
big there.
It's one of the universally like cross culturally accepted fast food places, right?
I was pretty blown away. I was
Yeah.
so blown away by
like,
that.
Anywhere you go in the world, Asia, like the Middle East, Europe, like everybody eats chicken. Everybody likes KFC. Like
Yeah, and so
it's
KFC
crazy.
will do a different taste profile for a
Each-
different country, right?
yeah,
so
each area.
It's not the same as the chicken. that
Yeah,
you're
a little
eating in the US.
spicier or a little
Yep.
whatever. Yeah, it's
It's a little
true.
different, yeah.
When I was in Hong Kong, I ate duck tongue, which I don't know if you've ever had that before.
No.
It's like
Didn't know they had
it's,
tongues.
It's kind of like the
That's why
equivalent
they're
of
so
like
quiet.
I guess the equivalent of ordering chicken wings or something because they were kind of I don't know how to describe them. They're like Y shaped.
Ooh, forked?
Yeah.
Forked duck tongues?
But the two prongs of the Y are actually like the back of the duck's
connectors.
mouth, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
The bill kind of comes out to the front, and it's just a tiny strip of meat on the front of this big thing you pick up with your chopsticks, and you scrape the meat off of it. But they're
Like an
like
artichoke.
crazy
leaf.
expensive, and I was very happy that the guy I was visiting there had more money than me and decided to cover
Cover the forked duck
the duck
tongues?
tongue that
The
night.
duck tongue, yeah.
So
Do you
yeah,
get a lot
that's
of forked duck
yeah.
tongue searches in your tags on your app? Or,
No, not yet. Maybe
not
after
so
this
much.
podcast, it'll
Yeah.
be
Yeah,
What about
People
fried
trending.
meat with
Looking
sweet
for the duck
sauce? Is
tongue.
that a big search?
The sweet and sour chicken balls? Yes.
Yeah, people like that stuff. You know what? I'll tell you one other super quick story about when I was in Hong Kong. When I was there, I was drinking. They have all these like flavored milk drinks over there that you just generally don't see over
Did
here.
they have like milk flavored milk?
You could get straight up milk if you wanted milk.
Okay, just
so I was drinking like we were at this kind of I guess like a juice bar that had all these milk based drinks, right? And I asked my Chinese friend who I was visiting, I'm like, so like what tell me about this drink, like where does it come from? Like, you know, is there some cultural background to it? And he's like, yeah, it comes from Macau. And I'm like, well, I understand it comes from a cow. It's a milk drink, but where does it come from? He's like, no, it comes from Macau, and there's a city in China called Macau.
Macau,
right?
yes.
And I'm like,
How long did that
I'm
take?
not stupid. I know it's a milk. It comes from Macau. But
No,
like, what's
Macau.
That's
what he's
one of the
trying to
best
say? He's
puns
like,
I ever
no,
heard.
There's a
Your
city
cow?
called Macau. It was like 4 times back and forth we were throwing this thing before we understood the pun that we were both going
That's
with.
amazing pun right
Yeah, I
there.
That is
thought it
good
was
times right
funny.
there.
Yeah, crazy. Cool. So now that we've covered duck tongue,
It looks like
and
it's getting a little
Macau,
cloudy out.
You think it might be time for the lightning round?
All right.
Yeah.
This sounds pretty
we
interesting. I
just
like
did that.
this.
Yep.
I've
It
been-
sounds more interesting than it actually is.
Is it actually like a game show?
It is. It's very game showy.
Yeah.
All right, let's do it.
For my first question,
Uh-huh.
I didn't want to ask you what your favorite food is, so I'm taking it to the next level.
Uh-huh.
So, James, you're naked. You're running from a bear that wants to eat you. In each hand, you hold a piece of food, one for the bear and one for yourself, your survival. What do you have in your hands, and what do you eat, and what do you throw?
Well, one would be a fish.
This is such an elaborate question. You put
It
so
is.
much thought into this. Yes,
It
go
took
ahead. So
hours to
fish,
create.
yes.
So one is for sure a fish, because bears love fish.
Yep, you drop in
Right.
the fish.
I will not eat that fish.
Yeah.
So I
enough.
drop the fish for the bear.
Yep.
I will hold something calorie dense. Probably
Peanut butter?
peanut butter's hard to eat though in large amounts. 'Cause
It's
it
true,
makes
but
your
it is
mouth dry.
calorie
Almond
dense.
milk.
Perhaps some kind of carby meat.
Right.
Ooh, sweet and sour chicken balls.
Yeah, something along those
Can you
lines.
carry the sauce and the balls
No,
in the
they
one
come
hand?
in. They come in handy in any situation, especially when you're running from a bear. You want to have your balls in your hand.
Absolutely. Well done. Well done. Your question, my friend.
Oh dear, I'm still reeling from that past one. My question is going to be much more boring.
Oh, come on.
So let's say this. So you're a guy who likes to go out a lot. I don't know if you are a big partier, but what's your favorite kind of party to go to? Costume party or toga party? You've done the toga thing already.
Caveman party.
Kegger, hanging out at a friend's house in the on the back porch. What? Where do you see
Intimate
yourself?
evening for two.
Yeah.
Interesting. The toga, I'm pretty much togaed out.
Right.
I'm totally togaed out there.
Gotcha.
I like the rooftop terrace type stuff. Overviewing a city like downtown Toronto, for example, like that.
Yeah.
It's really enjoyable.
Is it fancy? Are you drinking wine and dressed up, or are you just hanging out?
Nothing too
Yeah.
fancy. More so casual.
Okay.
More so casual.
Right.
Good friends,
In
good
between though, in
conversation.
between, not too cash, but not too fancy.
Right.
Just in between.
Business casual.
Business cash. More like I think
The
floral.
term that nobody knows what it means, but everybody says you have to dress that way.
I
for
think
events.
floral casual actually.
Floral
Nice.
casual.
Well done.
Excellent. This is, that has to be a hashtag on Pout somewhere. If you're
Floral
gonna use-
casual?
I think it's going to be after
Yeah,
this.
if you're
after
going to go
this
on
show.
Pout,
It
floral
sure should be.
casual. Perfect.
Okay, magic wand time. Genie und the bottle, if
Oh,
you will.
dear.
I'm going to solve your biggest issue. I'm going
Sure.
to wave my magic wand and solve it for you right now. So what is your biggest issue right now? Biggest problem?
With Yumr, not personally necessarily. Yeah.
Either.
It's getting deep and philosophical. I would say restaurants. They're hard to approach. Even the nice ones that even like ones that you kind of know personally, they're busy people.
They are.
And even if you offer a free service, it's tough to get them on board with anything that's new. Yeah.
So you're going to fix the restaurant approach situation.
Yeah, that is a problem because they are
Yeah.
busy and they're so inundated with
people with offers.
people that think they have it
Yeah,
figured
they
out,
get approached
right?
quite a bit.
Yeah.
I think it depends too where you are. In North America, especially like in Toronto, restaurants are approached way too much by apps.
Yeah.
New apps every day.
Fair
But again, I noticed restaurants in Asia, Hong Kong, for example, they weren't approached that often by apps.
Okay.
It's not as
cool.
saturated there, I find. So
Interesting.
perhaps other avenues like that could be
Yeah.
valuable.
Potential. My question for you is, I don't know if you looked at investment yet, but if you are looking to raise money from outside investors, who is your ideal investor?
You mean like characteristic-wise, their appearance? Or
Yeah, you don't have to give us a name
them
of
a
a person
character.
necessarily, but
Anyone
yeah,
with $3 million.
Yeah, but are you looking for someone to throw money at you and walk away? Are you looking for
No.
someone in the industry, or like what do you think?
You need
In
a
the
mentor.
industry, maybe. It's kind of an interesting industry to be in because we're not so much like the food industry, yes, but also we're tech. We're
Yeah.
mostly marketing, right? That's kind of the idea. So
Sure.
even on the end of big data, not so much big data, but data
Yep.
in marketing, new channel marketing is kind of an idea we're going for.
Yep.
So in that avenue, someone who's kind of experienced a portfolio of kind of mobile applications and innovative technology, social, and marketing,
Gotcha.
I would say.
And has a few $1 million to
Yeah.
put on the table. Okay.
For seed, not so much, but maybe in the long term for
Sure.
$1 million, maybe. Yes.
For a later round. Yeah,
Yes.
fair enough.
This is
Yeah.
my, we're still with the genie in the bottle.
Uh-huh.
This is my sort of supercharged co-op question. So I'm going to pay for 3 new employees, sort of like a co-op. But these aren't co-op students. They can be full-time professionals. So 3 new hires paid for by the genie. Who are you hiring? Are you doing more developers? Are you doing marketing? Are you doing graphic designers? What do you need for the team to grow now?
I would say development is really kind of holding us back the most. So I would hire ideally 2 senior developers.
Right?
One
iOS coming out soon?
iOS, yes. Ideally, iOS is one of our big focuses. So one iOS, and I would say a bit of full stack Android as well. So
Yep.
some of the back end they can do, and some of the front end Android.
Okay, so we got
Gotcha.
1 left. You got 2 developers and
I would say one that's
Sales?
experience with sales. Yeah, because sales is a huge one.
Sure.
That's really important.
Yeah,
Cool.
absolutely. What is one of your hidden talents, James? Anything you can do that we don't know about right now?
Hidden talents. I feel like I have a strong knack of finding things that are undervalued.
Okay.
It's kind of my goal with things. So in a sense, I still do. But since I was a younger kid, I invested in stocks quite a bit.
Yeah.
So a lot of money I made was based on stocks that are undervalued.
Okay.
So in my eyes, find what's undervalued, find opportunity in areas that no one else is kind of exploring currently.
Yeah.
Go against kind of the trend, kind of see where the trend might be in the future, and kind of do things based on that.
Interesting.
Awesome.
So we should put some money with you if use you as our investment advisor.
That's how you read that.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
That was very subtle. That was a good sales
Sure,
pitch, James.
sure.
You just got $20 from Darren. I noticed you have a really cool watch. So Genie this is your third wish.
You and the genie, man.
Yeah. Well,
I don't understand.
Okay, this is the magic wand.
Who's wishing? Is it me wishing or you wishing?
I'm the genie.
Okay.
These are the wishes you're
He's
making.
granting the wishes. Yes.
So I'm going to get you a new tech gadget. What are you buying? Did you see anything cool in China, or do you see anything out there? Are you buying a 3D printer, or a drone, or say hello to my new GoPro? What's your new tech toy?
Tech toy. I'm pretty content right now, actually.
Yeah?
With my laptop and BlackBerry. I have an Android as well.
Yeah.
So perhaps like an iPhone, because we need iPhone for testing and whatnot. We have an iPad coming in too as well.
Cool.
Tech gadget.
Does Yumr own a margarita machine yet?
Oh, a barista.
There you go.
A Bartesian.
Bartesian, yes.
The cocktail making machine.
Yeah, they were on our podcast a few episodes back.
Yeah, I would say a
bar.
Bartesian,
Yeah.
if anything.
There you go.
Drones, not so much. If a
Yeah.
drone could fly and make cocktails at the same time,
You're
I'd be
right.
so down.
I think that's Bartesian's next evolution of their
Jeeves?
product, actually.
Yeah. The drone delivery cocktail.
It's a butler and a bartender.
Yeah.
It's kind of
Robotic,
dangerous
yeah.
for parties, though, because like a drone flying around delivering cocktails.
It
But it could be
depends.
pretty cool, though.
Yeah,
Yeah.
just build it into your couch so they pop up. The drinks pop up out of the arms and
You
stuff.
still need the delivery system. We'll have to talk about this more.
Yeah.
I'm sure we can work it out.
Yeah, that'd be fun.
My next question, what is one startup skill that you think you have mastered in these last 6 months or however long it's been?
Mastered. I would say managing a team.
Okay.
Because that, for me, wasn't so much a new skill, because I had past experience being a product manager.
Yeah.
I didn't manage giant teams, but the experience I built a lot more here was how to turn an idea into an actual product and find the right talent.
Sure.
I spent a long time interviewing people as well, so that was very tough, trying to
Sure.
find the right candidate.
Yeah, yeah.
It's very
Okay.
hard work to find the right people.
Awesome. That's cool.
My final question for the day. What's your motivation? What makes you jump out of bed in the morning?
This app hasn't been built yet. Honestly, I want this app to be personally used by me and also everyone else. So I see opportunity that's not, like I said, not yet being utilized. So once this opportunity has been taken by somebody else, I'd probably I was like, okay, it's already been done. Maybe I'll just kind of sleep in a bit more. But now no one's really on top of it as much as I think we are. So
Sure.
while it's still fresh and hot, it's time to build.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you're in
absolutely.
the ether. That's awesome.
My last question, if you could have any drink in your hand right now, what would it be? I see the Anchorman mug. I'm not sure what's in that.
It was coffee. I downed all of that.
Okay.
You're
But,
switching from the
you're-
food to the
you're
drink.
ideal.
Nice.
Yeah, I'm just,
I like that.
we talked about the
You're
food.
crazy.
Let's talk about the drink.
I would say right now, I don't know why, but a pina colada.
Oh, there
For
you
some
go.
reason, I had a sudden craving for pina colada.
Yeah,
Oh,
you're
let's
looking at
talk
Darren
about-
and you're feeling like a fruity drink. I get it.
Yeah. I was hoping this Bartesian might have inspired the
Could they
pina
make
colada
that? They
talk,
could,
but
perhaps,
I
pina
think
colada.
they have some variant of it, right? They had some fruity drink they said in the
Yeah, they
mix
had
there.
4.
Yeah.
I think,
We'll have to listen to the podcast again.
we'll have to
And
go
so will
see
you,
if
our
they're-
listeners, if you'd like to find out what they
Yeah, we'll
make.
have to go see if they're serving anything.
That's true. And we got to throw out the bonus question, which is toilet paper, fold or scrunch?
Fold.
Excellent. No hesitation.
Who
That's
scrunches?
what I love.
I scrunch and
That
several
is
people scrunch.
extremely strange.
It's one of those questions
It's
you never
inefficient.
know how many people actually do it until you start asking people. And we've asked a bunch. There are some who scrunch.
One of our last scrunchers actually said that it was more efficient.
Right.
No.
Yeah.
Uh-uh.
Yeah.
That's what they said. They're obviously
be on
wrong,
Mythbusters.
but it should be actually.
It should be on Mythbusters.
It's gonna
but
be
it's not just about efficiency for me, I got to tell you. It's about coverage and cleanliness for me as a
Right.
scruncher.
Well,
So
and
my
just
main
the-
goal is not, I just want to save trees right now. It's
I think
need to-
the folding
I need
saves
to
the
get
most
it
trees.
clean.
Yeah, so that's not my motivation when I'm
but we're saying the folding both saves trees.
It does everything.
And is efficient.
See,
it's cleaner. It's more efficient.
Good
Saves
coverage.
trees.
I'm on board with the efficiency possibly, but I'm not on board that that's cleaner or
you think you
safer.
get better coverage?
Yeah, no, not at all. Or that it gets better coverage.
What about a bidet? They would just solve the issue all around.
Yeah, we've never offered the third option of the bidet.
Do full scrunch of
Mostly
bidet.
because we don't have a lot of bidets in use.
Yeah,
around
and then
here.
Darren's in the
But yeah.
bathroom for like 30, 45 minutes. It's like,
You know what though? When I lived in the Middle East for 5 years, and actually every home there, every bathroom in every home has a bidet. So I had access to a bidet for 5 years. I never once used it. At least I never used it for that purpose.
intentionally.
I used it, and if I was like scrubbing the bathroom, and I just needed like
Spray the,
a sink near the
tiles.
toilet or something. But and they also have in the Middle East what we affectionately refer to as bum guns, which is like a hose that you squeeze the trigger and it shoots the
Wow,
If you
so
wanna-
we've gone to a whole new level here at TSP.
Well, we were talking about food.
quite the
This is-
tangent.
it's all
Yes.
part of where the food process
we
ends
started
up
with
at the
food
end.
and we ended with
Yeah.
bum guns.
That's right. Well, on that note, it's probably a good idea to wrap things up. Before we do, where can we find Yumr online? You guys already mentioned you have an Instagram account, and
Yeah, we have Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. Our website's yumr.io.
okay,
And our app name is Yumr. So YUMR on the Play Store. You can find us.
awesome. And
On the iPhone and not quite yet. Coming very soon.
not on the iPhone
Almost
yet,
there.
but
Almost
we got
there.
it on Android.
I'm very excited to
Excellent.
launch it.
Sounds good. Well, we'll post some links to those different sites so people can follow and like and all that kind of stuff that we do these days online. That's great.
And share.
Yes, exactly. So let's wrap things up here. We'll throw out some thank yous. First of all, special thanks to our guest, Mr. James Lindsay from Yumr, for coming on our show.
Thank you.
Excellent. Thank you to the Velocity Garage for letting us hang out in the Trogdor room once again and criticize your walls, your walls that need cleaning from the whiteboard mess.
I think you need to repaint at this point.
At this point, I think that's the only option. And thank you, our listeners, for joining us on another episode of the Tech Startup Podcast, TSP Weekly. Please feel free to send us your comments, questions, criticisms, feedback. Our email address is feedback@tspweekly.com, or you can send us a message on Twitter. Our Twitter handle is @TSP Weekly. So from myself, Darren Conley, my co-host Stephen Campbell, and our guest James Lindsay from Yumr. Thank you so much for joining us today, and we'll see you all next week.